Hello and welcome to Coffee Milk. I'm Mark Laporte.
And I'm Mitch Apollo.
And this is 2 weeks you've been off, bud. You missed last Friday. What happened?
Well, last week I had not a lot going on. I went on a little date with this girl, and then my mind kind of went haywire. I haven't had any action whatsoever, or really any relationships or talking to anyone. So my mind kind of went haywire, because I didn't know how to feel about it. And then Friday I woke up and you texted me Thursday. I remembered that too when I realized on Friday that I didn't come over for the podcast. And you texted me on Thursday. You're like, hey, remind me to talk about this on the pod tomorrow. And I woke up Friday and my dad was cutting the lawn. So I just woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to help him do whatever he needs because I was just feeling nice.
Right.
So I cut the lawn. That went pretty fast, went smooth. And then my dirt bike tire had popped that week too. And I bought 2 inner tubes, right? Yeah. And popped both of them.
Popped both.
Popped both of them, putting them in. Oh my gosh, I was so mad. So I bought another one the other day. And then that day, after cutting the lawn, my tire was off my rim. And I was like, Dad, can you help me put this in? I need an extra set of hands. I don't want to pop this again. I will lose my shit if I pop it again. So I was just like, I need you to help me. We're going to do this. And so we did that. And then I was so just relieved. And I don't know, for one day, I was just kind of going and not thinking. And then I went for a dirt bike ride, got home, took a shower. And I think I was going to hang out with that girl that night. And I did. But after I got out of the shower, I just kind of stopped. And I was like, holy crap.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. It is Friday. I didn't wake up and go to the podcast. I didn't text Mark. I didn't get a text from Mark. Where are you? I didn't get anything.
Mark was pissed.
I was like, yeah, Mark must be pissed right now. So I immediately texted you and I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I don't know what happened. I was just on go mode. I just wasn't thinking. My brain was cluttered and then I didn't show up and I was super pissed about that. I was so pissed at myself because I knew you were pissed and I was like, man, I'm an asshole. And then, yeah. So that was my week. And then, yeah, this girl hasn't texted me back. So I'm all in my head. I'm like, oh man, I'm an asshole. I don't know how to act. I'm a weirdo. So yeah. So that didn't go well. We talked, we hung out a few times and then it was just down the drain.
I don't think it was you because everything we talked about, it just seemed like,
I don't know what it was. It probably was me.
Yeah, see, I think because you're in your head and we're our own worst critics, yeah, of course you're going to think it's you. But it could have really been her.
I've never been good with women either. It's just I've never...
Well, find me a guy that really has. I mean, it's so strange how you could be so focused on something like doing this podcast every week and doing everything else you're trying to do.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden a woman comes in. Everything.
I don't care. Mush. The last episode, I was talking about how my car was leaking diesel. I was at a party the night before. It was all hectic. Drove there, leaking diesel. Got a tow ride home. Got the whole life story from the tow truck guy. And I still, that didn't knock me off anything. I got home. I was like, oh, I'm late. Got to go to the podcast. Half hungover. Didn't care. Didn't think about it. But no.
You get a woman coming into the life and it's like...
Not even a woman coming into the life. You just get a woman to talk to and you're just like...
What do I do?
You're just like, oh man, I'm going to lose my mind. But yeah, it just takes your attention away from everything. It's like...
Your mind goes to mush. I have no idea. I've never experienced... Okay, I have. But every time I didn't pay attention to it because I've never been involved in so many different things at one time. Whereas when a woman starts talking to you, that I just become this completely different dopey guy who has no motivation for really anything else. It's not lack of motivation because I was amped and full of energy, but it was for this girl talking to me. And I'm just like, okay, what do I say next?
It's so funny that you had a situation too going on
at the same time. Same time. That's why that 1 week that we were all excited, it was because of this. There was just this feeling in the air.
Everything was going perfect.
Right?
Not even just the fact of that. It was just like everything was just going great.
And I was also during
Summer, it was nice out.
Yes.
And then this week was all just shitty.
gloom, and we got Canada wildfires and
Yeah.
smokes everywhere in New York.
Oh, I feel bad for the people in New York and in Canada especially. It's
God,
it's insane.
it really is.
I wonder how it is in Canada. Like, I see the pictures of the fires themselves, but like, what about a couple miles away in Canada? Like, how are people holding up around there, you know?
Okay, here's my weird thought on that, because you saw the pictures in New York City and it was completely freaking orange. Now, New York has just Central Park for trees, and there's no real trees anywhere else. Like, in Canada, there's a lot of trees, so maybe it just kind of filters a lot of that stuff, which is why it doesn't look so orange there. But it still might with all the smoke, but it
Because it goes up and it comes back down.
Yes, it just
with
seemed
the weather.
It seemed just ominous. Oh, it was this great picture, though. I guess Diablo 4 came out. Have you ever played Diablo in the video game?
No.
Okay. It's a weird game. But Diablo 4 had this big billboard in Times Square, and it said, "Welcome to New York, Diablo 4." And it was, the orange
Oh, it must
glow
have been
and
perfect.
Oh, my God. Very freaky. So how'd the doing the tire with your father go? So everything went well with your father on Friday.
Yeah.
just
We
having a nice day.
actually didn't argue at all. It was great.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it was nice.
Hope you get more of those, bud.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my week, very much the same as yours. I don't know. Well, I got in my own head, and I can't have nice things. I can't. I got to self-sabotage, and that's probably...
Yeah.
But it was also the fact that I was losing control of everything, and I don't like to lose control. And I feel like with a new relationship or somebody even talking to me, I lose myself in the process, and maybe I just didn't like who I was becoming, or
Yeah.
I don't have a warm, gooey center. That's not me. I am a cold-hearted prick. And that's so when things start going well, I gotta feel the need to push everything
Mess
away.
it all up.
Yep, absolutely.
Mess it all up for yourself.
Therefore, I'm in control, and boom. What's the worst that can happen? I am back to nothing. So here I am back at ground zero.
Yeah.
But at least I have my focus back, and I'm ready to really hit the ground running with everything.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about maybe doing a couple other different podcasts, because we just talk about random
We are ridiculous. I don't know why. This is the Broken Entrepreneur podcast now. That's the name of it from now on.
No, it's still coffee milk.
It's Coffee Milk, but then dash
Yes.
the Broken Entrepreneur podcast.
Because we're just broken people, and we're trying to do all this stuff. And one little hiccup, like a woman comes in, and we're all just dumb.
Yeah.
And now we're dealing from the fallout of nothing.
Man, this is embarrassing.
It's hilarious. Share it with people. I don't care.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I don't know if we actually mentioned it on the pod, but you were talking about building electric skateboards and stuff, and you bought a website.
Yeah, I have a domain. I don't have it up on Google or anything indexed. I'm not trying to do that yet. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to do. I've been trying to figure out how to source products on Alibaba. I'm just I feel like I've narrowed it down.
Right.
Because I'm really good with figuring out what version of what product is produced where.
And
I guess I've just been trying to make sure that I'm getting the products from the right place, because I see all these people with their e-commerce stores for electric skateboards, and they have all the speed controllers and the motors, and they have all their logos on it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm trying to figure out if there's this company called FlipSky. I'm trying to figure out if they're the main producer of all these motors and speed controllers for the electric skateboard kits. I'm trying to figure out if they're the main producers or if they are also a third party.
Right.
And they're just labeling them.
Right.
And if there's like a main producer in China that's kind of just like dishing them out super cheap, but I don't know if I could drop ship from them. That's the only thing. They might be like more of a wholesale type dealer. So yeah, I want to get a sourcing agent on, because I learned that from, who was it? Jack Bloomfield.
Okay.
I brought him up on the other episode, and then we're going to reach out to him and try and get him on one day to do an interview, because I don't think he has many interviews on YouTube, and he definitely doesn't have any interviews that are super recent.
Oh, no good.
So that would be cool. Yeah, he mentioned like getting a sourcing agent. If I could get a sourcing agent, that would cost money, but then I would know exactly how the process is going to go of me getting an order online and then getting that product to that person as fast as possible, how long it's going to take, what the shipping cost is going to be, and how much it varies from location to location and stuff like that. Because I'm so paranoid about, like, I kind of basically got what I should price it as, I guess, because I see other people's prices and I'm looking at the price of the main supplier I've been looking at, the Flipsky, and it kind of works out. One item quantity orders, say you go to the store, it's just $10 shipping usually.
Right.
So it seems like there's enough profit. Say you got the ESC, it's like $80 to $90, but they're selling it for $120. It seems like there's enough to just charge an extra $10 for shipping and then still make a profit and get it shipped.
There's got to be...
Because it just seems like, I don't know, I also don't know where those ESCs, or like speed controllers, when I say ESC, it's like just a part for the board, but I don't know where they come out of. I'm thinking they all come out of China, but...
Usually everything does.
They have chips on them. We ain't producing them.
No. That's after...
Maybe there's one American company doing it.
Costs too much.
I think there is, like, maybe it's a Canadian one.
Not cheaper.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out. Selling a physical product is harder than I thought it was going to be. Maybe if I was selling, like the latest trend, like cat fish bowl, cat food bowl, cat toy.
Well, I think there's something to be said about that. Doing
stuff like that.
That too. Just find the products that sell. You could go to Facebook ad manager, see all the different ads that are...
And you just like kind of push Facebook ads and you have a website and you just traffic people to that.
Yes, sir. I think everything is fairly easy to do. It's just a lot of it's time consuming, especially if you're going to do it the first couple times. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more time consuming because Facebook ads is not a very user friendly interface. There's a lot to it. So
yeah,
once you do it a couple of times, you figure out, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be targeting. This is how I target them. And this is the result, or this should be the result. What I really want to get better at though is Pinterest, because I feel like Pinterest is underrated, and if you were trying to reach a female audience for anything, that's where you go. But somebody told me that a while back, one of their updates, they just weren't pushing a lot of stuff with outside links in the post. So, but I don't think that's actually true, because I mean, I still see all these Pinterest marketing agencies and shit. So I really want to get better with that. I feel like I have a decent knowledge with Google ads, fairly decent knowledge with Facebook ads. I haven't played much with Instagram or Twitter, because I just don't see the point on Twitter. I do not see a point for putting anything.
I've kind of been going on Twitter a lot, and I don't know. I know I haven't been going on Twitter a lot recently, but I've been thinking about trying to build an audience on Twitter, and I don't know. I feel like it's not it. I feel like you have to be like this perfect like persona, and that's it. It's like everyone has their own persona,
right?
And it's like everyone is just, maybe it's just the side of Twitter that I got myself on, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like the algorithm on there is just so self-help and so advice, and it's just like everything you need to do this way and that this way, and it's just like it hurts to read. Does that make any sense?
No, it does. I'm sorry, I'm reading that. I saw it on Instagram, and then I had to read all about it because I still wasn't sure it was real. But this family in Las Vegas, they called 911 saying something crashed in their backyard, and there's 8 to 10 foot creatures and like just looking at them or something. And the police actually came by, and the only reason the police came by is because the officer said that he wouldn't believe it and he wouldn't bother, but because his partner said he saw something fall from the sky too, which is why they wanted to investigate. So they go in the backyard, and the body cam footage for the backyard's all blacked out. They're citing privacy reasons, but apparently they said there was a depression in the ground, but I don't think they saw the creatures there when they arrived. And they had even asked a neighbor if they saw anything. I think the neighbor confirmed too. But also, body cam footage, you saw this thing kind of streak across the sky. Now, it looked like a low-level meteorite, but it could have been a UFO. I don't know. I just thought that was a really crazy story.
So cool. Why can't they crash in my backyard?
Right?
I want my life to drastically change.
I just want them to abduct me and take me off this planet.
Yeah, me too.
I'm ready. Like, let's just go.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool. I like finally getting more UFO stuff. Big UFO guy, always have been. My father always fought me on that. I remember it was maybe 5 years ago. He told me, it's like, I really like that you keep on sticking with what you believe in. I'm like, yeah, because either this entire universe is empty and it's just us, and that's scary, or there's intelligent life out there, and that's also scary. I choose to believe, like, in 13.5 trillion years, or billion years. How old is it? I don't know. I think it might be billion. 13.5 billion years, yeah, I'd have to say that there's got to be some advanced life out there other than ourselves. Now, if they could give me some great entrepreneurial tips, I would really appreciate that. Or just lend me the UFO. I could give UFO rides. You know, Richard Branson sells his seats for what, $100,000? We could do that. Side hustle of the week, ladies and gentlemen, UFO rides.
I hear like all the stories from people and they're like, oh, there's like radiation around it, and they go near the UFO and they feel like time's slowing down and shit like that.
One of my favorite UFO stories is, I got to Google it, Rendlesham Forest in the United Kingdom. It was on a United States Army base, and these guys, I think Christmas Eve, it's a nuclear facility too, I believe, and a UFO just landed in the woods, and a whole unit goes out there, and it's the most well-documented case because the guy is talking to his radio while he's circling the thing, and he's talking about how weird it looks and how there's crazy hieroglyphs. I'm sorry?
Ones and zeros on it.
No, he touched the thing. And
got a download of information.
It was ones and zeros, and he
wrote them all out.
100%.
That was trending.
Yeah,
because I watched that.
Oh, video. Really?
Yeah.
And I think it was Gail Breton was this. No, I think
that is Authority Hacker. That is like, Gail Breton from Authority Hacker. I got
so many damn names in my head. I can't even.
That is not.
I was way up. It's just
going, Mark.
I'm not even here today, bud. Like, I woke up a couple hours ago. My head hurts and this coffee's not kicking in. I don't know why we got on UFOs. I just saw the story coming up while I was looking up a Florida man story.
Yeah, the UFO thing was cool because he like downloaded the information and then he felt compelled to write them all down.
Yeah.
And then they decoded it into words, right? And it was like, we're visiting your Earth or something like that. Or like,
it had some crazy message.
We are visiting you.
But it also had, I believe, the longitude and latitude for, what the hell's the island with the big heads on it? Easter Island. Yeah, that's where, like, the dot with the location pointed to. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool, because Easter Island has these huge heads on it. There's nobody that lives on the island, just these huge monolithic heads. And then if you dig down about 50 feet, there's a body to it, too. I don't know really how they did it. I love how they always come up with some crazy ideas, but never like UFOs or anything. It's all like, no, they use trees and stuff. Well, the damn island is dead. I don't think there are any trees. And they're like, well, they cut them all down. It's like, well, a lot of this doesn't make sense. What would you do if you saw 20 trees left and you're like, well, we have nothing left, but let's still cut those suckers down? I mean, come on. That's me just getting crazy.
It's got to be some other power building those massive statues. Like,
I like to think so. That's why I'm a big fan of Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
We should do a whole, I'm sure there's a lot of different websites on UFOs and stuff, but I'd like to do one of those.
You ever read the ones on the pyramids and like this guy who did like this experiment on it, and he like talked about how like there were bees appearing in his workshop out of nowhere. He had this like pyramid like structure that he was like trying to recreate, and like I was trying to read all of his notes on it, but they were like it was like me explaining a story to someone, like just bits and pieces of like shit that you just cannot make out or put together.
Makes sense to the guy who's writing it down, but not to
no one else.
It's like talking to a crazy person.
Yeah.
I have seen weird things on pyramids, like pyramid power and weird shit. I don't know anything about it, but when they start comparing that to things like the Philadelphia experiment and stuff like that, it really piques my interest. The Philadelphia experiment was a thing with I believe it was a Navy battleship.
And it disappeared.
And then it came back. Well, that's what they say.
People were morphed into the metal, and
that's the story, but it also said, no, none of that shit happened. It's like, well, I don't believe anything when they say, no, that didn't happen. Well, that's our alien topic for the day.
Alien topic.
And the only thing for Florida man I have is Florida man was bitten by a family member in the leg. and developed a flesh-eating bacteria. Oh my God.
my gosh.
I don't even know how that's just insane.
Did you hear about the guy who tried to rob a store with a paper bag on his head?
Tell me
Pretty
again.
sure it was a Florida man too. And then the one who robbed the store with an alligator.
Oh, yeah, the alligator one I read.
It's just like, I don't know what I was thinking, man. I just...
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Obviously, you weren't thinking.
Oh, God, I love Florida.
And then I was watching another video. Someone has an alligator as their support animal. Like, you can literally pet the thing. The guy was apparently so depressed that apparently the alligator sensed it, and he, like, fell asleep with this alligator, like, on his head. And it didn't kill him, or, like... And now he's, like, attached to the thing. I watched a whole, like, little documentary on it.
That guy's going to get a Darwin Award in about 5 years when that alligator is huge.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
People are crazy.
Oh, yeah. That's why. There's a boatload of crazy people, so why can't we find a side hustle for the crazy? What do we got? Just...
Nothing. Crazy.
No,
you crazy. Just...
You got to come up with, like, some crazy... I don't know, find a guy with a tiger and be like, yeah, for $5,000, we'll let you put your head in the tiger's mouth. Would you do it? Oh, I guarantee you'd sell out. People are that stupid.
What?
I'm just spitballing here. I mean, you got to come up with some crazy ideas.
Step right up and put your head in the What?
Go skydiving without a parachute. $12,000. You can only skydive once, successfully. I'm just in a weird mood, man. This coffee sucks. And it's not really kicking in.
Oh, have you played around with any of Google's new, like, search tools? You see the little, like, beaker at the top of Google search now?
I actually don't see the beaker, and I tried to show you that a little while ago. I didn't.
Yeah, I got it rolled out to me, I guess. I don't know. I'm just lucky.
That's weird. I don't know if it's maybe because I'm logged in a work account or something.
But, yeah, so apparently they added it. They added something, like, you click on the little test tube at the top of Google, and you can add in generative, like, search to when you search, you'll get, like, responses by AI. Then there's a coding one that you can add in to help with coding. And then there's one for sheets. So it's nothing really crazy. It's kind of like Bing, I guess.
Yeah, but I still haven't used any of the
Google's rolling it out.
Newer tools that they used. Again, the woman in my life just really messed me up, and I had no ambition to really research anything except stupid things like ideas, and I wasted all my time on that. And now I'm in this mood, and now I'm trying to just get back out of this little funk.
Yep.
So if anybody had this experience and they were trying to start their own side hustle or business or whatnot, and then love just all of a sudden appeared, how did you get through that while continuing to be successful with your business? Unless you brought that person into your business, in which case, well, that makes sense. But, I mean, man... Women just do a number on us.
Yeah. I don't even know if we should put that out there. I feel like that's like...
Oh, are you high? No, I'm totally putting that out. Like, I love how you second guess everything, but of course I get final edit. And I think everybody can relate to this story.
What do I have to lose?
That's it. We have nothing to lose because we're at nothing.
I am at 0. I have nothing. I just don't want to have less, or I don't know.
Well, you can't. That's the best part about being at 0.
Well... Been messing around with batteries a lot.
That's wild to me, because the one thing that scares the crap out of me, like, I'll be a plumber, I'll do any of that stuff. I will not touch electricity. It just freaks me out too much. I just make sure, okay, if I do, I make sure there's nothing on.
Yeah, been messing around with that a lot. I've been watching YouTube about all, like, the power walls and stuff. I want to try and power something in my house with solar and then recycle batteries. I've been ripping apart all these old laptop batteries I've been saving and testing some of the cells, and they've been doing pretty good. Test like 4 a day, basically. They charge them up all the way, then charges them down all the way, and as it charges them down, it counts how much it puts out for power, and then you write that down on the cell so you know how much, if it's, like, still good to use or not. But, like, it's kind of tough to weed out the bad ones, because you can still make a pack with all of them, and then, like, 4 or 5 of them become, like, what you call heaters.
Right.
And then they'll just start heating up, because they're not good anymore.
Oh, cool.
So you got to make sure the internal resistance on them is all good and stuff like that. But I've been doing that. I'm going to try and power something in my house with solar and then a battery pack to charge the pack.
Now, how, I mean, you see my yard. I don't get any sun except that little corner. And
I think we'd be decent.
Really?
Yeah, we'd be all right.
I want to get into that, but I'd have to cut down about 200 feet of trees right behind me.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing that. But that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah. Or I was thinking about building a pack for a skateboard and then making a small one.
Okay, how big's your big one? Is it like a longboard?
It's a longboard,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so making like something a little less powerful and then something like that. Because the battery is the most expensive part. But I don't know if I could use the old laptop cells for an electric skateboard pack because they're not rated for that power output. But then I don't know.
Damn.
It's all
Jargon. I have
jargon.
no clue what you're saying, and that's just awesome, though.
Yeah.
Because you get so amped up when you talk about anything with battery packs, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't
I
know.
love it.
That's wild. Good for you.
So fun.
I mean, there's got to be a million jobs out there you could get doing something with batteries, or I would assume.
Nope. I've been looking around everywhere and it's like just no.
Well, it's just Rhode Island. I mean, check Connecticut, check Massachusetts. I mean, Connecticut's a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something out there. And Massachusetts has all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Been looking into that recently a lot because I've been trying to get back to my roots, like do something that
With your hands and
with my hand
like
that I did like kind of like in middle school. Like, I don't know, get back to like a nice hobby
right.
instead of just trying to do something else, you know? But yeah, I've been trying to do that. And then what else was I looking at? There's also another thing called Second Life Storage that I found. There's this guy in, I believe it's the UK, and all he does is hoard these battery packs that have the lithium ion cells in them, takes them apart, tests them, puts a number on them with all the numbers from the test, and then he lists them on an auction on his website. And apparently they all go
Really?
for like $1, $2, $3 a cell.
Is that good or
Sell.
is that cheaper?
You're getting the cells for free.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
How big's a cell? I mean,
double the size of a AA. That big, that wide.
oh, so it's like a D wide and a AA doubled
Yeah.
big, long?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I hope people caught that. A AA
It's like
doubled.
imagine AA like blown up 3 times.
Right.
If you could drag it and just make it larger.
And how many cells are in a battery pack? Or say this
Well, it depends on how many you want. Well, that laptop pack, probably not the cells that those probably have the flat pouch cells in them. Your laptop,
Right.
but if you got one of those batteries that usually clicks out
Oh, okay.
and it's kind of got those round bumps in it,
Oh, okay. Just the
maybe like 8 cells,
Oh, wow.
9. All depends on the battery. Like my smaller laptop has like just a stick of them, and there's like 5 in a row maybe.
That's crazy.
So
I didn't know how this stuff worked. At least you're going to help me out with understanding that crap.
yeah, but
Still not going to follow.
I want to start try and like sell them online, but I just don't know all the regulations and stuff.
Right.
It's like, what if I ship a bad cell? What if someone gets a cell and it doesn't, and it blows up on them? Like, not like these are super dangerous. Like they're engineered to be safer, and like they have vents on them. If they get too hot, it'll vent,
But you still don't know.
blow out a bunch of white smoke. Yeah.
Did you reach out to the guy?
No, I haven't reached out to him, but I think I'm gonna reach out to him and say like, hey, I've been testing cells for a while and been interested in this. It's like, could I maybe ship you some for 50 cents, 25 cents a piece, and you could sell them? Could I sell them on your site? Or should I make a site? Is it even legal in the U.S.? Do you know about that? Like, do you have issues with that? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like you look up the answers and it's just not there. Like, it's like you just get a jargon of yes and no, and it's like, what am I supposed to do?
Sorry, it's a gray area. It's like, well, I need yes or
It's
no,
like-
especially with
It's like these batteries are shipped every day, so it's like,
Oh,
how am I supposed to? I don't know. Yeah, but that's something that I really would love to do as like a little side hustle if I could get that going, just like selling individual cells or something like that.
How would you source how would you get all the recycled batteries and
I
stuff?
would probably go to schools, ask for their old packs. I would go to battery recycle centers, or I'd go to Lowe's and talk to the manager and be like, hey, all those old batteries you get, like, can I have some of them? All these old packs that people turn in.
Because I'm assuming they'd actually have to pay to dispose of them.
I believe they
If
do.
properly.
I don't know. So
They just put it in the dumpster.
I would have to find sources, but I think once I start really looking, I'd be able to find them.
It's not a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Why not try?
Like
Right.
just from a couple days of being aware of it in high school, I was able to gather up like I don't know. I probably have like 200 cells right now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
Damn.
but yeah, and people do it, but I don't know. Just a gray area.
Yeah. I don't know enough about it. I mean, I'd try to help you out, but I wouldn't even know where to look. So that's why I just ask people, but I don't know anybody.
Yeah, if you get any drill batteries at the shop that go bad, put them to the side. Or if anyone know your friends that got them that go dead, I'll take them if they're throwing them out or looking to get rid of them.
Oh, yeah. I can even ask Brian, too, with all his RC cars, because those would be lithium ion.
Those are lithium. Well, lithium ion phosphate is the hard cells, but lithium ion, those are those foil packs that you see, the rectangle bricks.
So you don't want those.
And those are really good and efficient, but they blow up over time. Like they will expand, they'll fill with gas.
Oh, okay. And
then they can actually blow up.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So those are more dangerous and not really recyclable. Kind of like when they're done, and you don't want to overuse them or overcharge them or mess with them in any way. Those usually don't get recycled. Sometimes they do, depending on if they're still good or not, but it's more of like the lithium ion phosphate. It's a different chemical formula that's like supposedly safer. And now they're coming out with sodium batteries too, and they're like these big bricks.
It's insane.
Yeah. And they're using them in the EVs. And a lot of people are just running their house off like 20, 40 bricks. It's crazy.
Yeah, those can't be cheap.
No. Not cheap.
Sorry, this might be boring, but now I'm actually really intrigued. Like, what's the lifetime on a battery? Because I've always wanted to do battery.
I've seen people getting a battery wall made from recycled cells in like 4 years. They have like a blowout or something like that, which is scary.
Oh, shit.
That's the other thing that scares me. It's like, if this is going to be in my basement, like, first of all, why is everyone putting these things on their walls when they have a chance to catch on fire? Like, the wall is the worst spot.
Yeah.
I know it's called a power wall, but oh my gosh, put it in the middle of the floor, put it on the ground. Like, oh my gosh, why is it on the wall? That is the worst place it could be.
I'd like to put it on a
Like, the total worst place. Even if it's in a metal case on the wall. What? What are you thinking? Like, put it in an outside enclosure.
Yeah, I wouldn't have anything attached to my house.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm seeing people get like 4 years online after their cells kind of go bad. But I don't know. That's the thing. Your cells do go bad over time, and then they don't hold a charge, or they don't hold as much as, like, they don't put as much power out as they used to.
That's why I still think it's too early to go.
But my electric skateboard, that has been going good still, and I built that pack in 8th grade, I believe.
Holy hell.
Summer of 8th grade, I built that pack.
That's awesome.
And I think that it's still going strong, but I get voltage sag. So like that's like, so I'm on my skateboard, I'm going slow, and then once I hammer it, it'll go like full speed, but I'm looking at my battery indicator as I'm hammering it, and it's like you can see it drops down to level 2 when it was at level 4.
Oh, wow.
So it's like when you go and try and pull from that pack, it's not going to be able to keep up with the voltage. It will give you the power, but it's going to die faster.
Okay, that I understand.
So like, whereas new cells, you're on the skateboard, you're giving it full throttle, it's going to maintain that 36 volts.
Okay.
Or that 42 volts. It's going to maintain that full charge for a while. Whereas I go to hit it now, it's going to give me full power. I'm going to go, but that pack is going to, while I'm hitting full power, it's going to drop down to like 40 volts. It's going to sag like 2 volts. And then once you let off, you'll see the battery indicator go back up. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a healthy pack anymore. So,
jeez, that's why I'd be too paranoid to get involved in this.
But I think they're safe. It's safe cells. Like, they're not like, if it does blow up, like, you have time to get away from it. And like, it's not like it's going to kill you or like be a grenade.
Right.
You know?
It's not like a Tesla.
It's going to blow out the side and make a giant swoosh, but in a bunch of puff of white smoke. But it's not like it's going to... Like, I've seen packs where it's a tightly welded pack and like 4 cells will blow up, but the rest are fine. So it's like, seeing that kind of makes me feel better. It's like one can explode right next to another and the other one will be okay.
That's crazy. I would figure the whole thing would catch. Wow.
Those other lithium ion cells, though, the pouch cells, yeah, those go. Like the ones we got in our phones.
Oh, okay. So you got to show me. One day you got to bring over some shit. You got to show me this stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. But, yeah, I've been into that because that's like a huge interest of mine.
There's this one guy on Instagram or TikTok or whatnot. It's Patent Designs or Paton design.
He does PCB designs?
Huh?
PCB?
No, it's his last name. It's Paton, so it's Patone or what? Patent. And he makes all these cool like motorized wheelbarrows, and he made a chariot for his motorcycle.
I could have done that, and I just haven't jumped on a YouTube channel. Like I haven't.
I think you do some fascinating stuff, and I think your YouTube channel would go crazy because that's what this guy does. And the funny thing was, I've been following him for quite a while and just watching all this crazy stuff going. The last thing I saw was this chariot that he attached to his motorcycle, and it was just a 55-gallon drum that he kind of cut out like a chariot and put on these big wheels.
Like some Colin Furs type stuff.
Yes, it's hilarious and awesome at the same time. Now, the funny thing is, we got this guy from Australia and this guy from New Zealand. They're at the shop now. They're here for 2 months. One guy's building 79 or restoring his 79 Firebird in aluminum because it's all rotted to shit, and he wants to take the aluminum Firebird back to Australia with him. So this other dude's from New Zealand. And greatest dude ever, and nobody understands a sense of humor because I come into the shop and he just kind of looks at me and then gives me the middle finger. Or this guy says some messed up stuff to me, and it is hilarious. But I consider it. They're like, man, he doesn't like you. I'm like, what are you talking about? He called me, he called me a. But I guess that's really normal in New Zealand. They just call everybody. So he's like. So he just does that stuff, and everyone's like, well, that's kind of rude. I'm like, no, that's just, he likes me. How do you not get that from the insults? Plus we're in Massachusetts. You should understand we got a thick skin. If you're not busting each other's balls, you don't love the person. If you just say, hi, how are you? That means you don't like the person. If you're polite, you don't like them.
Yeah.
If you bust balls, you'll love the person.
Yeah.
It's very different in New England. Yeah, so he was showing me videos. He's like, oh, yeah, my brother does all these crazy things and everything. He opens up TikTok, and he shows me the motorized wheelbarrow and the chariot on the motorcycle.
It's his brother.
It's his brother from New Zealand, mind you.
Why do you have all these crazy connections? And you're like, yep, no, he's at my shop today. And I'm like, what, man? Like, how in the world?
I have no idea how.
You see something online, and then the person just comes.
Yes.
It's just like, oh, that's great.
I was like,
that must be awesome.
Tell your brother I follow him. But he told me some of the numbers. He's like, oh, yeah, one of the videos he did, he had just randomly went to maybe a car show or a crazy machine show, whatever. And he brought his motorized wheelbarrow. And he said the views alone from that video was like $5,000 for the weekend. I said, holy shit. So, yeah, I suggest you do it, dude.
I'm thinking about kind of making a little video. I want to do one of my board. Because that's cool. There's a lot of videos on electric skateboards and people building their own.
Yes, sir.
Because people like to look when they want to build their own. And I've also been thinking about kind of doing one of those videos like kind of like has a time frame. And it's like, I'm going to build this electric skateboard for my friend. And like, I don't have anything set up. But maybe I can make a video out of it and make it like a little, I don't know, month-long thing. And be like, by this date, I need to make this skateboard so we can go and ride.
And then you're like,
by the end of the summer.
Day one, drilling
day one.
Chucks or something.
I've got all of this, and like, I don't know, I'll just document everything.
100%. Make sure each day is maybe if it's going to be 30 days, do each day as a minute long. Well, don't do it as a minute long, film everything, but we do it as a minute.
Get a minute cut.
30 minutes. Yeah. It's 30 minutes, 30 days, and it'd be interesting. Have a little description of what the hell's going on, or voiceover, or whatever you do. But yeah, I can edit that thing for you. You know, I'd love to.
Yeah,
I think you should do it.
I think I'm gonna start making. Let's just start making the video, and then I'll have to finish.
Just follow, even follow that other guy that I was just talking about, and see the crazy shit he makes, and then just start doing. Yeah. Or if you need anything from the shop, like I need metal, I need this, that, we have it. So just ask. But hell yeah, I'd do it. See?
Could you make me a motor mount?
Yeah, just give me the dimensions and everything. 100%.
Do you have a cutter?
We have everything. I got a plasma table. We're gonna
So like you can make me an aluminum motor mount. Oh my gosh, dude, that'd be insane.
Oh, really? That's what's holding you up is an aluminum motor mount.
No, it's just one of the parts that I would have to find and make it right. But
oh, no, you just give me. I mean, okay, yeah, there's going to be a little fabrication involved because first time's not going to be right unless you give me exact.
That's why you got a belt sander.
Yeah, exactly. We got belt sander, we got bridge ports, we got lathes.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make a YouTube video about
at least do the first one about your
building an electric skateboard.
Show everything, zoom in, shit. And then you can even make a 60-second version, put that on the TikTok or Instagram. You never know.
Yeah.
But people that build random shit do really well.
I love to build random stuff, and then I get guilty about it because it's like I'm wasting money and I'm just tinkering. But yeah, if I could have a channel to do that, man. And
then you wouldn't have to waste money because maybe people would reach out to you and say, hey, would you consider using my part in your next build? It's like, abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on. I just want you to monetize everything.
I'm just lazy and I haven't made a video yet.
I don't know. I don't know what's holding it back. Nope, it's open. Come on in, bub. You're good.
I think he has shit.
Oh, sorry. My bad. My bad. We're in the middle of the podcast. I thought that you had, but stop.
Maybe I'll just start recording with my phone.
That's it. And then just make sure you upload to a Google Drive or something. Yeah, that shit takes long. And if you could make sure you get it in, well, no, I guess 4K is good. But I don't know. When I just edit it, I always put it in 1920 by 1080 and I don't go crazy with the,
Yeah.
Just saw this fantastic quote on Twitter that said, pain creates progress. I think that's going to be true. I think we're just going to keep on going through little wins and then a lot of heartache. And that just makes sure we want to keep doing what we're doing because I don't think we're going to put in all this effort and go through all this work and not have a great reward at the end. So, I don't know. That's going to be the quote of the day. Pain creates progress.
Yes. All right. So I was doing a little research, kind of like to bring up one interesting person each episode, or try to at least. So this person I found, his name is Brendan Cox, and he was a young entrepreneur. He started out in his school. First story I heard him tell was he would go to the dollar store, right? And then he would buy packs of gum that have like, you pay $1, $2, and then you got multiple packs inside the sleeve.
Right.
So he'd buy that and then sell each pack for like maybe double the price or whatever, a little bit. And one day he said he made like $56 profit at school, all from selling candy. So that kind of got him going. And he kind of always had like the entrepreneurial, he always had the bug. So in 7th grade, he really kind of started another business. His first business he started was selling phone cases. He would design them in Photoshop after learning Photoshop, and then he would send the designs to China, apparently, and get the phone cases and then ship them here and sell them.
How old was he?
Or he would drop ship them or whatever. I don't know if he would really design them, but that's pretty crazy. Like designing phone cases, getting a factory to actually produce your design, that's pretty cool. So he was in 7th grade when he started doing the phone cases, which was kind of insane. Really insane, actually. So all that time, he learned about Photoshop, graphics, all the different design elements that you need to learn in social media, how to sell products online, and he kind of learned that selling a physical product was actually kind of harder than making a service or an app or something like that. And he's also made these 2 other apps. It's called like Infinite Run or something like that, or like Impossible Puzzle or Impossible Run, and you got to do like this like little game on your phone, and it's like a simple game. I don't know exactly how it goes, but he made 2 different apps that were games, and those were a big hit. And he also made this app called Teen Assist, which connected people who needed work done at their house with teens who wanted to do odd jobs. And apparently that was a really big thing. He said like he would go out for coffee and he could like never miss a client or something like that, or miss someone who was using Teen Assist already in his local area.
That's awesome.
So that was really cool. He started something like that, like kind of like Angie's List in a way. And then he started Cox Social Media Management. I couldn't really find much about this, or I didn't really dig too much into it. But he started that, and he does social media stuff for customers, like banner designs, ad designs. He'll design your account, do stuff like that, like all the graphic designs and stuff like that for for media. And apparently he has a net worth of like $2 million or whatever. So it's probably more than that now.
Yeah. I never find those estimates to be right.
The All Up in Your Business podcast he starts, I guess. He started, and he does that. And he's based out of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure he grew up in New Jersey. So that's pretty cool. So one of the things, or some of the things that he says that kind of stuck with me: set realistic goals. He encourages aspiring entrepreneurs to start as soon as possible and set achievable, realistic goals. So like nothing too crazy, something that you think you could do. And he's saying don't do it just for the money. Like there are money grabs out there. He talked about like fidget spinners, like he sold those for a while and like stuff like that, but don't do it just for money. He says that building a business around your passion, as the money will follow you when you are doing something you genuinely enjoy. So like don't just try and do money grabs all the time, I guess. And then he said to build an effective network. Like everyone says, your network is your net worth. He emphasizes the importance of like connections and using social media to build lasting business relationships. So yeah, I've definitely been trying to figure that out. Like we are doing that now with the podcast. So we just got to have some more people on, but learn from your mistakes. He always says that learning from your mistakes are always the most valuable teachers, and to definitely pick them apart and learn from them. And yeah, those were his goals. That like I watched a bunch of like documentaries, and that's kind of what, or there was like this book club that did a podcast with him, and then a few like highlights on him with like these channels that cover like young entrepreneurs.
Right.
So I don't know exactly what he's up to today, but I think he's doing Cox Visuals, which is his media company. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. I just started out like lemonade stand like every other kid, and then he sold phone cases and candy in school, and it's pretty wild.
See, I always applaud that. It's like, and they're starting young. Most people don't figure this stuff out until later on in life, like me.
Yeah. I was crazy. I wanted to sell vape juice in high school. I sold a couple bottles.
Did you?
I did.
I remember you told me.
And I mixed it on my own. It was like cents a bottle. Cost me like a couple dollars a bottle. The biggest cost was the bottle itself.
No kidding.
I think.
And then what'd you charge for them? Like $5, $10?
$15.
No kidding. Hell of.
But no one wanted to vape out of the bottle. Like everyone wanted the disposables at that time.
Oh, okay.
So I considered buying empty disposables, making my own juice, filling them with my own juice, and doing that. Because if I could make a really good disposable with quality juice and people could tell the difference, then that would be a hit. But, you know, it's like also bootleg.
Yeah,
it's really bad. And then I kind of realized, like, this isn't the best thing to be doing at my age. And
weird stuff. Like, you never do the normal lemonade stand stuff.
No, I wanted to sell vape juice and fireworks. I'm insane.
I did the fireworks thing. I would always go to New Hampshire and come back and then sell to all my friends. It's definitely a great way to make money during the summer. Everybody wanted fireworks.
Yeah, I remember. They would always have that. My dad would always tell me they'd have this guy who would come to the neighborhood and he opens his trunk and it's just loaded.
Yep.
And all the illegal stuff too. Like they don't even have them anymore. They don't have just things that go boom on the ground anymore. They don't like that.
It kind of boggles my mind. I love cherry bombs. I love
it's so exciting. It goes off. You're like, holy crap, what's going on? You know?
I remember my father and I, this had to have been 25, 30 years ago. We had this crazy stump, and he just drilled into that stump and hit pineapple in it, and a pineapple's quarter stick.
Yeah,
it
blows it right apart.
Holy hell, it was beautiful, but that sound and everything, I miss those days. But now everyone's too stupid now. We got to worry about them eating Tide Pods, so yeah, I wouldn't trust them handling
drinking bleach.
Explosives. Son of a bitch. Why you guys got to ruin everything? No, that's pretty cool about that Brandon guy. We got to definitely get him on.
Yeah.
The thing we got to, I'm
going to go back
in mind
into our episodes, and every time we bring someone up, we got to email them, and I should be emailing him right now, but
or direct message or anything. Just anyone.
Just,
But we're going to get more people because this is a group I belong to for podcasters, and they all just try to become guests on each other's podcasts that just help each other out. And it's kind of a cool community. And a lot of them have been asking for different things, and I didn't know what we should really focus on if it's just entrepreneurs, but some of these people have really cool stories, and I'm down for having really anybody with an interesting story or just somebody who's really good at their profession. There was a life coach and somebody for childhood trauma. I'm like, hey, you never know. I could just always pick these people's brains about anything, because that's what it was supposed to be about. Anything to help you grow as a person. Me, it's too late for me, so we're just focusing on you now, bud.
Yep.
So you got that to look forward to. I'm going to reach out to a couple of them this weekend, and probably within the next 2 weeks we'll have our next guest. And Charlie's coming back from his
nice.
from Missouri. He should be up next week. He had a hell of a problem with one of his rentals.
Man.
Apparently when they left, they just kind of just went nuts with the place, and he said they spray painted everything, and it was just horrible. So
That's terrible.
he's cleaning that up right now, but he should.
Does he get compensated for that?
I don't think so.
Really?
You
can't make them pay, force them to pay?
Well, yeah, you got to go to small claims court and do all this other
That's
bullshit.
crazy.
That's why you always have a security deposit, but I'm sure the security deposit didn't cover anything. That's why it's tough finding good renters. So we may bring him back on and see what he's up to, so that's exciting. But other than that, that's it for this week's episode of Coffee Milk. I'm Mark Laporte.
And I'm Mitch DiPaolo.
See you next week, hopefully. Next week's there's Friday. It's 7 days from today.
Yes, next week, Friday.
All right, see you then.